Story 1. The Watcher in Apartment 3B. Lisa Holloway was a 27-year-old graphic designer who had recently moved into a small Chicago apartment. She was independent, career-focused, and had a tight-knit group of friends. But starting in January 2019, she began to notice strange occurrences in her home. At first, it was small things. Her bathroom door left slightly open when she was sure she had closed it. A kitchen cabinet ajar in the morning when she never used it at night. Then, she began hearing noises, soft shuffling sounds in the walls, faint taps against the ceiling. Lisa dismissed it as the natural creaks of an old building or possibly mice in the walls. Then, things escalated. One night, Lisa woke up to the sound of her front door creaking. Heart pounding, she reached for her phone and quickly dialed 911. But when she got up to check, the door was locked. The police arrived, found nothing, and left. Lisa convinced herself that she must have been dreaming, but she wasn't. On March 15th, Lisa failed to show up for work. When her best friend Megan went to check on her, she found the apartment door slightly open. Inside, Lisa's purse, phone, and car keys were still on the counter, but Lisa was gone. Police found no signs of forced entry, but they discovered something chilling. Lisa had left behind a series of notes detailing her fears. "I keep waking up to find my door unlocked. There's something in the walls. I can hear breathing. Someone is watching me." Security footage from Lisa's apartment complex revealed a shocking discovery. A man had been crawling through the air vents, slipping into her apartment at night. He was later identified as Travis Malloy, a former maintenance worker who had secretly been living in the building's crawl spaces for months. When police searched the maintenance tunnels, they found a makeshift sleeping area, along with Lisa's missing clothes and photographs of her. A hidden camera was also found, placed in the air vent above her bed. Lisa's body was found a week later, stuffed inside an abandoned elevator shaft 2 blocks from her home. Travis was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Story 2. The Stranded Hitchhiker. In 1987, Mark and Emily Dempsey were driving on a remote highway in Nebraska when they spotted a woman standing on the side of the road. Her clothes were dirty and torn, and she looked terrified. When they stopped, she ran to the car, pleading for help. "Please," she gasped, "take me to the police. He's still out there." During the drive, she told them her name was Stephanie Graves. She had been abducted while hitchhiking and held captive for over a week in a basement with other women. Her captor had left the door unlocked that night, and she had seized the chance to escape. Mark and Emily took her to the police, where she gave a chilling statement. She led officers to a farmhouse deep in the countryside. Inside, they found 4 other women, all malnourished and chained to the walls. The farmhouse belonged to Derek Holloway, a former truck driver who had been abducting women for years. When officers searched the property, they found shallow graves containing the remains of several missing women. Stephanie was the only survivor. Holloway was arrested and sentenced to death. Story 3. The Basement of Secrets. The Parker family, a father, mother, and 2 children, lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Denver, Colorado. In July 2004, they vanished without a trace. Neighbors noticed that their car never moved, mail piled up, and the house seemed eerily silent. When police entered the home, they found everything in place except the family. However, a search of the basement revealed a hidden trapdoor. Underneath, officers discovered a secret underground chamber with blood-stained walls and shackles. DNA tests confirmed that the blood belonged to the Parkers. The house had a dark past. It previously belonged to Walter Greaves, a convicted murderer. Police found surveillance footage showing Greaves had broken into the house, forcing the family into the basement before murdering them one by one. Greaves was arrested attempting to flee the country. Story 4. The Unfinished Phone Call. On October 4th, 2015, a 911 operator received a chilling call from a woman whispering, "He's in the house, he's coming." The line went dead before she could give her location. The call was traced to the home of Sarah Lawson, a 31-year-old teacher. When officers arrived, the front door was ajar, but Sarah was missing. Security footage showed a masked man had been hiding in her attic for days, sneaking down at night to watch her. Sarah had called 911 just as he attacked her. The man, later identified as Daniel Rowe, was caught weeks later in another break-in attempt. Sarah's body was never found. Story 5. The Vanishing Neighbor. On May 22, 1996, David Caldwell waved at his neighbor, Richard Porter, while collecting his newspaper. That night, Richard's house was completely empty. All his belongings, furniture, and even personal records were gone, as if he had never existed. Police discovered a blood-stained mattress and a missing rug, indicating Richard had been murdered and removed from the scene. Months later, a tip led detectives to an abandoned cabin in the woods. Inside, they found Richard's body, along with 2 others. The cabin belonged to Ethan Graves, an ex-convict who had been watching Richard for months. Graves was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Story 6. The Crying Baby. In 2012, James and Olivia Carter moved into an old Victorian house in Boston. One night, Olivia heard a baby crying through the baby monitor, but when she checked, their infant was sound asleep. Investigating the strange noises, the couple discovered a sealed-off door in the nursery. Behind it, they found a hidden room filled with old toys and a child's diary. The last entry read, "He comes at night. He takes the bad ones away." Historical records revealed that in 1956, the house's previous owner, Arthur Vance, had been suspected of abducting children. However, his victims were never found. Terrified, the Carters moved out immediately.